Welcome to this video demonstrating how to use Halsbury's in Lexis+. Note that you will need your CQU login to access Lexis+ through the CQU library database. Now this is the home page that we encounter as soon as we click through the links in the library. And the first thing that we need to do is scroll down a little bit, and what you'll see is there's a list of common publications that Lexis provide, and we want this one here, which is Halsbury's Law of Australia. If we click on that, we go through to the Halsbury section of the Lexis+ database. So now this search function here in this box here would search only within Halsbury's Laws of Australia, so it's confining the scope of the search. We have an advanced search function which I'll show you later, and we've also got a contents page. Like Westlaw, we have categories listed alphabetically, but note that the categorization may be different from one platform to another, so you might not locate the same information in the exact same place under the exact same heading. Now, when you click on one of these headings, you will normally see a range of subheadings. So let's just take contract as an example. If I click on the plus sign here, you'll see that it gives me a range of subheadings, so formation of the contract, terms and parties, and if I click on that, there are further subheadings because this is a large topic. And again, if we select another one to look at, you'll start to see then that there may be headings that relate more to the information that you're looking for. Now, because this is such a large topic, you'll find that there are many further subheadings. Let me show you. So you'll see general rules is another subheading here. And now we've drilled down to the content so that we can access a specific page of or paragraph of Halsbury's. So if I click on that, for example, it will take us through to paragraph 110395. And that's where we can find out information about that particular topic or area of the law. Okay, I just want to go back because there's further things that I want to show you in relation to that contents page. So we're back to that home page within the Halsbury's area of the Lexis+ database. If you remember when we were looking at Westlaw, we were looking for information on the tort of privacy, so we're going to do that here as well. So we're scrolling down to torts. There we go, let's click on that. Let's have a look at general principles. And you'll see that there's nothing in there that indicates that it's looking at privacy. Let's have a look at torts derived from trespass. We need to drill down a little bit more to see if there's anything mentioning privacy. So let's click on trespass to person, and it's only talking about battery and assault and false imprisonment and trespass to land. So there doesn't appear to be any mention of privacy. Now, obviously at this stage, you could drill down further just to make sure, and obviously click on these plus buttons to see, for example, in battery and assault, when we look at liability, whether or not there's any mention of privacy, which there isn't. Now, I can assure you that privacy does not feature under the torts section in Halsbury's. Just like Westlaw, it's been categorized elsewhere. So let's just say that we've come to a dead end and we need to try and find this information. We need to go back up to the top and perform a search. So here we've got a search box. Remember that it's only looking at Halsbury's when it's completing this search. So let's type in tort and privacy and click the search button and see what happens. So you can see here that it's starting to produce things that might be relevant that we should have a look at. So here we've got the mention of a right to privacy and reputation in the introduction section. And you'll see here reference to privacy legislation, the right to privacy of the home, and the right to privacy of the person. Now that looks like a good correlation with the information that we're looking for, so let's just click on that and have a look at it. Now it's important to note when it was last updated, because just like textbooks, the information in Halsbury's gets out of date. There may be changes in the law that have occurred post April 2024 that obviously aren't noted in this particular paragraph. So it's important to always take those sources and check whether any further legislation has been passed or repealed and whether or not the cases have been overruled or cited in further litigation. So let's just have a look at what the paragraph looks like. And you can see here that it gives you a sort of overview of the law and the development of the law, and provides footnotes which when we scroll down, we can see that there are hyperlinks through to the relevant cases that are mentioned in the footnotes. And if there were any journal articles, there would be hyperlinks to those as well if those journals are available in the Lexis Plus database. Each of the hyperlinks is going to link you through to the versions that Lexis Plus holds. It's not necessarily the authorized version, for example, but it's a great way of going straight through to the source that you need to read. And of course, you can then also use the case citator function within Lexis Plus to update that source. Now, just to note here, it tells us how it's been categorized within Halsbury. So you can see here that it doesn't fall under the torts section. As I mentioned earlier, it doesn't feature as a subheading within any of the torts component of Halsbury's. It actually falls under civil and political rights. And then we can see its subclassification here. So if we go back to the home page, I'm just going to go through that now just so that you can see that that's how we would have located it in the contents page. So let's do that. So we're back in the contents page. So let's go down to civil and political rights, which is here, number 80. And then if you remember, it was civil rights. And then it fell within privacy and reputation. And there you can see right to privacy of the person is the section that we were just looking at. So by performing a search, we were able to locate relevant information on the topic, and then using that trail, we were able to trace back to where within Halsbury's this information sits, and then that gives us access to relevant paragraphs. It's important to read around the topic and not just read the sole paragraph that you've found. There might be information in paragraphs before or after the one that you've located. Now remember that this demonstrates that there is a completely different classification system in Westlaw to Lexis Plus. It requires you therefore to think of synonyms for a particular word when you're trying to scroll through the headings of the contents to identify the information that you seek. So thinking about synonyms will help you look for different headings. If that doesn't work, think of some search terms and connectors and complete a search if you can't find what you're looking for. Now, it's really important when you're performing a search that you think carefully about what kind of words you're going to use. Apart from thinking of synonyms, also be very careful with general words like violence or assault, because they're going to produce hundreds of results or possibly even thousands, because they'll feature in so many different sections of Halsbury. So try and think about wording that is linked very specifically to what you need. So for example, in relation to looking at for information on privacy, if I just typed in tort, it would produce thousands of results. But if I wanted to look very specifically at workplace privacy, then I could type in workplace and privacy, and that would narrow the search right down. Now I just want to demonstrate very quickly the advanced search function. So we've done a basic search using this text box here, and that's limited the search to Halsbury's of Australia, but we can do an advanced search within Halsbury's. So what you'll see here is that we can further limit our search by reference to these fields that appear on the left-hand side. So for example, if we know the author of a journal article or a journal citation or the title of a journal article, we could type that in and it would see if that is mentioned anywhere in Halsbury's. We could also look for specific legislation. So you type the legislation title in there. We could also search by reference to cases. And note that when we type things into here, let's just type in, for example, privacy, what you'll see is that it does all of this for you. So it puts in the limitations of the search for you. So it's now looking for privacy within the heading or title of a document. And then when we click search, it's looking with those search parameters within Halsbury's only. If you need a little help with connectors, you can use these ones down here. There's guidance provided by Lexis Plus on which ones work within its database system. So this advanced search enables you to really refine the search right down and limit it to particular fields, whether it's journal articles, document titles, legislation, or cases. But sometimes it will generate no hits because you've gone too far into the detail. So you may need to expand the search by returning back to the previous search function, which is a basic search function, or using different synonyms or connectors to find what you're looking for. Now, just like Westlaw, if you're searching for information and you put in a seminal case, what that's going to produce is thousands of hits, even within Halsbury's, because that case will be mentioned across so many different paragraphs. The same is true of certain legislation. For example, if you were to just put in the criminal code for Queensland, that's going to produce thousands of hits as well. So you would need to be more specific about what provision you're looking for. This is one of those things where, because it's got a different classification system for Westlaw, there's no one size fits all, and you need to experiment a little bit with Halsbury's when you're looking for information to get used to its classification system and how its search function works. And also, when you're actually doing a search, be prepared to think of synonyms and different ways of locating the information. But eventually you will get there and it will become second nature. Okay, that's it from me. I hope this was useful, and don't forget to move on to the other videos looking at researching secondary sources.